What is up, everybody? Welcome to Coming Off the Edge. You know it's Tuesday when you see our mugs here on your, hopefully, YouTube screen. If you're not on YouTube, get over to YouTube channel so you can comment and interact with us. We love to see the comments. Go check it out. I'm Nate, joined by my co-host, my friend, the FF chef, James Crease, and
What's up?
the one, the only, my good brother, my homie, Herms, CH Herms.
Hello.
Guys, how are we tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks. I have a thrown out back, a sick kid, and the Giants didn't make any valuable moves in my eyes. So, yeah. Shit on me.
I have a massive knot in my back, like right below the shoulder blade, but like right above the lung area. So
yeah, that's where I'm at. It hurts when I breathe.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel you on that. Not great, but at least my favorite team been making some moves. There's some stuff
Got a new
going
quarterback
on.
there, eh? Got a new
Yes,
quarterback.
sir. A new quarterback, beefing up the offensive line a little bit. We
Yep.
got ourselves a new corner as well. That's pretty neat. So, feeling a little bit better about the Steelers. But yeah, hey, just it's only day 2 of this today. So
Right.
we have a ways to go.
Well, it's been insane. And I think the craziest story to come out of free agency so far has got to be Randy Gregory and that whole mishap by the Cowboys. How do you let that happen? How?
I see, and this is why, I work for a family business as well. There's a reason that my father doesn't give me that many responsibilities because
Right?
the last thing he wants to happen is for me to Stephen Jones something. You know what I mean? I don't, that was
Right.
that was messy, dude. How do you reach this agreement in principle? Everything's there. It's just all you got to do is sign the dotted line, and then at the very end, it's okay, by the way, some of the terms are different now. What the fuck? You already. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Right.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
What I don't understand is I don't get the idea that they thought they were going to pull that over on him when he'd already had them take that out of the contract to begin with. Did they think his agent wasn't going to read it one more time? I don't know, man. But as a Broncos fan, I'm glad it happened.
I think it's going to affect anybody else that wants to get picked up by the Cowboys. I think they're going to read their contract maybe 3 or 4 times more than they already have. And, man, I apologize. The Giants did pick somebody up. We got Tyrod Taylor.
You got a new starting quarterback. There you go. Good job.
I mean, if we had a shit signal, put it up in the sky like a big poop emoji in New York.
Big poop.
Fucking Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor. I mean, is he
It's not even worth discussing. It's disgusting.
Who's he comparable to, though? He just keeps ending up places.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Jalen Hurts before Jalen Hurts.
Donovan McNabb after Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, that's fair. Just such a journeyman. And he has these flashes where he looks good, but I don't know. Then he gets stabbed in the lung. I feel bad for the guy. At least he's still getting paid.
The league wasn't ready for him. You know what I mean? By the time that football kind of adjusted to his play style, he was just a little too old. You know what I mean? It's just maybe he could have been good at some point.
Just keeps getting hurt. All right, he got the Buffalo starting gig, got hurt, went to Cleveland, first 4 games, got hurt. LA, got hurt. We're not even, see you later, bye. And then
doctor hurt him,
and then he goes to Houston, and Davis Mills outshines him while he's hurt. So I don't know if it was necessarily if he had talent or not. Maybe he did have a little bit of a talent. But maybe not enough talent, number 1, to beat Davis Mills, and number 2, can't stay on the field if you're not healthy, man. You can't put up points. That's it.
Didn't he lose his starting job in Buffalo to who was it? EJ Manuel?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
He did.
I try to forget EJ Manuel existed. I try to try to block that out. Oh man. Yeah, dude, man, what a wild time, man. I feel bad though, just because I feel like a lot of people forget, like, he spent like the very early part of his career just like sitting behind Joe Flacco. You know what I mean? Like, I thought he was pretty good because I mean, like, I in my neck of the woods, quote unquote, per se, like, like, I live in the television market for the ACC or whatever. Like, I remember seeing it because at Virginia Tech, right? Like, that's, he was good. I thought he was pretty good. You know what I mean? But it's like, the league was not ready. And now we see all sorts of those guys,
that we do
in the league. So it's like,
and succeeding.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So Baltimore, Buffalo, Cleveland, Chargers, Houston. Okay. Yeah. I mean, he's been in the league for 11 years.
Yeah.
And now he gets to beat out Daniel Jones.
I mean, it's not a hard task to do. I mean,
what do you mean, Mike Glennon?
I just don't get the $11 million. I don't think he's worth that much for a 2-year salary. I think it's a little bit of overpay, especially with 8.5 guaranteed. Man, come on. It's
I know, but
disgusting,
also,
man.
Here's the thing I'll say why I don't mind watching good backups get paid, because he is a good backup. Like, if Daniel Jones goes down, I would rather have Tyrod Taylor or Colt McCoy.
It's like a Jacoby Brissett. It's the same situation.
Yeah, sure. But we've seen teams, to come to mind, your Giants with Jeff Hostetler when Phil Simms went down. And the Bills with Frank Reich getting them to a Super Bowl with Jim Kelly down. And then, of course, Tom Brady coming in. Probably the greatest backup of all time. He just kept the job.
Bledsoe, yeah, after Bledsoe went down.
But when you have those guys, Case Keenum, he's nothing more than a backup. But when they needed him, when Bridgewater went down, he got him to the NFC Championship.
And also shout out the homie, Steelers legend, Charlie Batch. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Look, Tommy Maddox.
Honestly, yeah.
Let's talk about the new Steelers. New Steelers quarterback.
All right,
that'd be fun.
Fine, I opened the door wide open. All
right. I'm interested to see, like, from a Steelers fan's perspective, on what your expectations are for your team, because I mean, we've seen good Mitch Trubisky for 2 or 3 games, and then we've seen bad Mitch Trubisky. Which one are we going to get in Pittsburgh? And and how does it help the people around him? We can expand on that afterward.
Okay,
conversation point.
I will actually. Well, I'm going to start there and just say that whatever people, whatever you have to say about it, like, it helps because he's not one of two people here. He is not noodle arm old man Ben Roethlisberger.
Fair,
and he is also not Mason Rudolph. Very
Definitely
important.
Not.
Really want to, just like put, like the siren emoji next to that. Not Mason Rudolph. Like they're by virtue of this fact alone, I feel pretty good about it. But either way, what I really like about it is the fact that, and we saw, the unveiling of the Matt Canada offensive system last year and how a lot of things were predicated on, just like a lot of pre-snap, a lot of, like the line kicking out one way or the other, having to roll out a little bit to make some throws and stuff. Ben Roethlisberger didn't have that to his game. The last time Ben Roethlisberger had that to his game, I was, 15 years old or something? It's been a while. You know what I mean? Like, by having that, dynamic physical element to your quarterback to be able to do that stuff, and what is largely, Matt Canada had his success in college. It's very reminiscent of a college offense,
Mm-hmm.
I prefer having a guy like that. And Mike Tomlin came out and said it multiple times. Just, we really want a mobile quarterback. That's why, for as much speculation was going on about who it was going to be, I, reminded people, whatever it is, just make sure that you keep in mind whoever you're projecting to go there, they kind of have to fit this archetype, because that is really what they're looking for. I hadn't really considered Mitch Trubisky because, to be frank, I thought he was going to sign with your Giants. That's why I never bothered.
What everybody thought.
Yeah. I didn't bother putting him on my list of guys because I was just like, oh, no, he'll be somewhere else. But I get the news and I'm just like, it felt weird for a little bit, and I didn't react super positively at first, just because it's like folks have to keep in mind, this is the first time my team will have a new quarterback since I was 9 years old. So
wow.
It's a little weird to think about. So I was like I had to sit there with it at first. I was like, Mitch Trubisky. You know, like it had to soak in, but when it soaked in, you know, everything I said about, you know, the athleticism, that dynamic that he brings to it, super cool. He's young enough. I feel like, to a certain degree at least, some of the issues he had in Chicago, we can really chalk up to Matt Nagy not scheming things up well at all.
Now that he's not there, yeah, we can blame Matt Nagy.
Yeah, and like it was not just Mr. Trubisky that had this issue, but Andy Dalton and Justin Fields. Like, scheming receivers even get open was a really difficult thing for them to be able to do. So I'm starting to question how many of those dumb interceptions are just him having to throw into coverage because it's like, well, where else am I going to throw this?
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I'm having a little hard time balancing that, but the beauty of it is 2 years, man. That's all it is. We can re-roll next year if we really want to. Hell, we could take a quarterback in this draft, sit him, see what happens. If Mitch Trubisky ends up being really good, great. If he doesn't, it's 2 years.
Yep.
We're good. We're good. I feel really good about it because it enabled us to, you know, because it, like, if we had traded for Jimmy Garoppolo or something, right, like, it's a lot of money, you know, but it freed us up to go out and do other things. Bringing in James Daniels, that was a really great signing. I was thrilled to find out about him coming in while I was at work. I was like, yeah, woo! You know, like, dude, it's economically smart. He really fits what they're trying to do. It was very long-winded, but I care so much. I care. Also, I get to say Mitchburg now, which is fun. So
Mitchburg.
Mitchburg.
Oh my god.
Yeah, welcome to Mitchburg, baby. Woohoo! Yeah, like it's gonna be great.
Nate, what do you think about Mitch going there to Pittsburgh?
So I was actually, Herms and I were texting like right as it happened.
Sounds romantic.
And it was. I had the candles lit, you know.
Had a little
saying sweet nothings.
There we go.
So I like it. I think Trubisky's a lot better than we've seen out of him because he was in a like really shitty system. Of course he's not going to be good. Andy Dalton was much better than what we saw from him last season. But again, shitty system. Trubisky going to a team that actually, like, I don't know, has some leadership in Mike Tomlin, has had a coach who's been around for a while, not Matt Nagy. I think that makes a difference.
I mean, they made it to the playoffs with Ben, right?
Yeah.
We're a contender no matter what, baby. That's just how well coached this team is. Like, it's always going to be there. Like,
I mean, I think he's good for probably 3 wins over what they did this season. Maybe 4. Wouldn't surprise me. This is a playoff team again. I mean, probably wild card. I think Cincinnati wins the division, but who knows? I mean, Trubisky could have an all-pro year. We don't know. We saw Ryan Tannehill do it. He got free of a bad system. He got the job from Mariota, and he was very good.
Fair. That is very fair.
So it's not like it's like how I feel about Marcus Mariota. That dude just didn't fit Tennessee. He's had a couple of years away in Las Vegas. I hope he lands somewhere. Indy. I would love to see him in Indy.
I get what you're saying.
The talent's there.
Yeah,
and I think people forget this about some of these players is that, okay, and I will make the same argument about Laviska Shenault. That system doesn't fit his talent set. Okay. It hasn't since he came into the league. We all thought it was going to change with Urban Meyer, and it didn't. I'm not saying that I think this guy is going to be a wide receiver 1, but I think he's a guy who could be like a Deebo Samuel-ish type in another system. Ish. I'm saying ish.
You're saying
nobody
Laviska.
will ever. Yeah, he's that kind of like multi-tool player. In college we saw it a lot where he was lining up in the backfield and taking carries and getting chunk yardage with them. Generally, when he was carrying the ball, not so much in Jacksonville. Obviously, the NFL's a different game. But if you can coach him up on that to do it at the NFL speed, why not? He does the same things Deebo does. He's capable of doing all those same things.
I also want to remind people, Mitch Trubisky has made a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, it's true.
He has made a Pro Bowl.
And he was taken the second overall in the 2017 draft, right? But
yeah.
I mean, we've seen first round quarterbacks spit out. This will be his third team. This will be his third team. It's a
Started
2
one
year, and
season in college.
this is my take on the Mitch situation. Now we can get into LaVisca if you want.
You mean
I'm down for a
No.
conversation.
you're
But
going to get into your take on the Mituation? That's
it's a
really
situation
a
that
mituation.
I'm
We'll
not
get into it.
I'm not really too happy about. I guess I'm okay about it. I'm okay for the ample pieces that go with it. The Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson might take a hit. I've heard that going around, because he doesn't throw to one side. But I think Deontay is a pretty versatile wide receiver. I think Claypool could be okay. They still need a slot receiver. They haven't signed Juju yet. They may not sign Juju. I don't think they will sign Juju. I think Juju wants to get paid, especially with all this money going around the league right now. And
I like Juju in San
Pat
Diego.
Freiermuth may benefit big time from Trubisky because if there's any kind of a safety net, is a big can of Freiermuth. All right, so you just crack that open and let it fly. So the fantasy pieces I'm happy about. Mitch Trubisky for fantasy purposes, no, not for me. He will be on the bottom of my list until I see elsewise. But I think it's the Steelers actually stepping up and saying, all right, it's not our year in the draft. I don't want to waste these picks. We couldn't get anything done with Deshaun Watson. We couldn't get anything done with Russell Wilson. Let's take a bridge quarterback. He can carry us over for 2 years. If he works out, great. Then we can re-sign him. But otherwise, they're stacking up first-round picks in my eyes. I think they're going to go out and they're going to do something in the draft. I really think Malik Willis could still be on the board for the Steelers if he falls. Or who's my guy? Desmond Ritter. I think Ritter would fit perfectly in Pittsburgh.
I don't hate that.
Dude,
Malik Willis ain't going to be. Malik Willis isn't getting out of the first 5 picks.
Yeah, I agree there.
Somebody's going to trade up.
Trade up. Yeah.
I feel like Jacksonville might actually trade that pick to the team that wants Malik Willis, and Malik Willis will be the first overall pick in the NFL draft. I'm not saying that makes sense. Just like when I said I thought there's a chance CMC could be included in a trade for Deshaun Watson, and I got a lot of pushback on that.
I think the Jaguars still need a wide receiver.
Sure, but they can trade back and get a wide receiver. They don't need to waste.
Who did they pick up again? They picked up Christian Kirk. They paid him a big bag of money.
Kirk, Zay Jones.
So they have a field
Ingram,
stretcher, a slot player.
Evan Ingram, yeah.
Evan Ingram, okay, tight end. Killed my. But I think they're still in need of an alpha wide receiver, and they may try to draft one in the top of the draft this year. Or they go offensive line. Who knows?
Well, yeah, but you're talking about maybe trading back to like 9 or 10 or 12. You're still going to get a wide receiver. And this is I really like
they make a deal with Atlanta and trade back. Yeah.
But dude, apparently, did you read the report? Because everybody's like, there's no way Deshaun Watson would ever go to Atlanta. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he went there for a visit.
But do you know why? So I didn't know this. He was a ball boy for the Falcons when he was in high school.
Oh shit!
I mean, it makes sense. He played in Clemson, right?
Yeah, right. He became really good friends with the Blank family, so he knows the owner, and he's close to the owner of the Falcons. He requested to speak with them. They did not request to speak with him. He wants to see about going to play for the Falcons because he's friends with the owner. Why wouldn't you want to play for your friend?
I mean, hey, you don't mix friends with business. That's my take
I
on
agree.
That. But
I agree. But when you're talking NFL, that's a little different.
It is different, and you want to have a good relationship with the team that you're playing for. It makes a lot of sense. I still think that I think Carolina's got the bull by the horns, and they're going to do something.
I think the Saints are going to get him.
Really, Herms? What do you think?
It's
the Watson sweepstakes. Spin the wheel.
The Panthers make the most sense. I mean, I think they have the entire time. I think ownership, ever since what's his face bought the team, has pretty much just been like, yeah, we're gonna turn this into like legit franchise. But like that was his like intended, like his mission statement when he bought the team was like, we're gonna take this team and we're gonna go play. I mean, that's why he, like one of the first moves that he did was just like, screw it. Okay. We're going to start out. We're going to get like some like weird, like college offensive guru guy. We're going to hire him. We're going to do, just like he's been trying to set the table for this to be a crazy offense. You know what I mean? And like the cherry on top.
I'm surprised
is finding
that crazy coach still has his job.
I am too.
After the decisions that were made. But they made another decision today. They went out and picked up Deontay Foreman, gave him a $2 million deal. And
I did
so
not
now,
see that. Wow.
so now there's something going on where maybe CMC is definitely gone in some kind of trade, and or he's definitely going to lose goal line touches with Deontay Foreman in the mix. Bigger back. I mean, he could probably push around the NFC South pretty well. Maybe not Tampa.
This is a move to me that signals that Carolina thinks that Christian McCaffrey will never return to form.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. I really don't. I think it's time. I mean, if you want him on your roster to be a pass catching back, sure, keep him as a pass catching back. And as he gets older, he kind of loses reps. I mean, it's a factory in that sense. Like that's what happens.
Well, the thing is
that's the game. Get the best young guys and let them play until you can't play anymore.
Well, and I can't see him having another RB1 overall, or not overall, just an RB1 finish again in his career.
All right, let's play a little bit of a game. So,
hi, Brad.
CMC and Leonard Fournette both drafted high in the same draft. Now, if Leonard Fournette goes back to Tampa and gets it like, say, a 2-year deal, let's say a 3-year deal. How many years does CMC have left? 2, 3? At least 2. At least 2. Anyway, who would you rather have right now for fantasy? With the news of Deontay Foreman coming over to Carolina, with the chance of Deshaun Watson going to Carolina, and speculatively speaking, we'll keep CMC there with Deshaun Watson. Which running back would you rather want? I'm interested to hear it because, CMC is probably still going to be in the back of the first round. And Leonard Fournette probably go in the third.
I'm not as worried by Foreman coming in personally. I would still. Okay, all right. Well, yeah. For next year, I'm still willing to roll that chance. But looking at it that far out,
it's only six months away. It's 6 months away, Herms.
Look. Well, not even just that, but I'm just talking. No, like the way you phrase the question, even is just like, let's like over the next couple years, like, so it's the conservative move would be to take the value of Leonard Fournette, who you feel a little bit better about health wise, although he's had his own stuff in the past, but not nearly as bad as Christian McCaffrey. But like, I think it really, I don't know that there is necessarily a right or wrong answer to the question. It's really just a matter of like your preference of what you want to do.
Right. I'm interested in your opinion. I'm not asking if it's
no,
right.
I agree. But I'm just like the type of fantasy manager I am, I try to be as risk averse as possible. Particularly like with the guys in my starting lineup, like the ones that I'm really relying upon. You know what I mean? I would feel better about Leonard Fournette. You know what I mean? Just from the standpoint of like, well, I have a better feeling about him being healthy. You know what I mean? So it's like, and like you said, like the disparity between like where you'd have to pick one versus the other. Mm-hmm. What do I
think Leonard Fournette may be a better value.
100%. So it's just like, yeah, like I'll use my first 2 picks on something else, pick up Leonard Fournette, and I'll figure it out that way. Because it's like, yeah, dude, like I got the heebie-jeebies when it comes to Christian McCaffrey at this point. Like I'm not willing to do it. You know what I mean? Like any dynasty team I had him on, keyword there had, you know, yeah. So I'm not in that business anymore. I can't do it. I think like, and if a year from now we play back this video and I look like an idiot, fine, whatever. I'm willing to look bad in hindsight because, well, first of all, if he stays healthy, then great. That means he stayed healthy. I would love to be wrong. Me being wrong means that we get arguably the best running back in football for a full season. Wonderful. That'd be awesome. but I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh, I can't do it.
Fair enough. Nate, and I see shout out Brad Bolt in the chat, our man from down under. Brad, voice of an angel, Bolt. The Aussie Angel. That was my nickname that I gave to him because his voice just sounds so great.
Well, it's true.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's
no,
true.
it's true.
He's saying that Foreman is more of a deterrent for Chuba Hubbard. Now, Nate,
Okay. Yeah, fair.
where does Chuba Hubbard fit into this puzzle if Deshaun Watson comes in? Because he was already middling, and now we have Deontay Foreman, who showed up pretty well for the Titans this past year.
He was a beast.
And was a high draft pick, and I believe he had an ACL tear
Achilles.
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 Yeah, he tore his Achilles, and he was out for so long. But we're seeing players like Marlon Mack, Deontay Foreman, Cam freaking Akers coming in back from these horrendous injuries that we normally don't see players really come back from, and they're doing well. So I'm interested to see if Chuba Hubbard is even a thought during the draft this year. I mean, speaking redraft wise, I don't think so. I don't think I want him on my team. I don't think I want CMC. Nate?
I'll take Foreman.
Sneaky.
I think there's
Late
some
round.
red zone upside late round. Dante Foreman. I'll take
Probably get him
Fournette
in like the
before
10th or 11th.
Yeah. I'll take Fournette over CMC. I don't love Chuba.
Ooh, that's harsh, Brad. But
I'm not.
You're probably right.
He's probably right. Hey, I trust. Brad knows
Brad
his Panthers. Brad knows his Panthers, man.
Brad said he won't be a Panthers fan anymore if they bring in Deshaun Watson. So I'm trying to sway him over to the Bronco train. He's not doing it.
Hi, Dave.
This is funny. Chuba the key.
Dave, what up, buddy?
That's funny. But yeah,
You
I
know,
mean,
Herms?
it's crazy to sit here and think about, and I know there's a lot of news going on and a lot of players, but one move affects so many players for fantasy purposes. It's like if you did any work up till this point, kind of throw it to the side and start over and start reevaluating these teams as a whole and where these targets and where are these carries and the potential fantasy points coming from. And that's how you win your leagues. You don't just sit there and say, oh, yeah, I know he's good. He's going to do well. Yeah, CMC. Oh, yeah, he's drafted first round. You know, he won people many of championships. But now in 2022, it's a totally different ball game. If you get a running quarterback, you have other pieces on that field with speed. But I know CMC is going to be part of the gig and a main focal point if he's still on the team.
You guys, I was just looking at some CMC stats.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know he only has 572 more rushing yards than receiving yards over his career?
I mean, I don't doubt it, but the guy was hitting like 200 plus all-purpose yards like every single game in 2020.
2019.
That 2019 year was nuts.
He had 1,300 yards rushing, but he had 1,005 yards receiving on 116 catches as a running back. So it is ludicrous. But here's to my point.
Ludicrous.
This is kind of like the Le'Veon Bell argument, where he was like, I'm not going to continue taking a pounding if you're not going to pay me, because I'm not going to last but another couple seasons at this rate. And he sat out. And what do you know? He was never the same player.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey was overused his first 3 seasons, and he will never be the same player. It sucks, especially because he's a Colorado boy, and I watched him grow up and play. But dude,
I agree. No, I agree, man.
Him. You're talking about a season where he had 287 carries, and then he had 116 catches.
Jesus.
On top of that.
It's
149 targets.
He was the best. He was the 101. And
100%.
And I think now everybody has
there.
caught up saying that he's not the 101. But I'm just interested where he's at now. If he's still a value, I don't know. Like, if he goes to another team, I'm probably off of him. I'm probably not going to get him in any of my drafts. If he falls to the second round, sure. But
I mean, I would need to see him in a situation where there's a second viable, proven running back.
I think this is the first year. This is the first year that we're not going to see CMC get drafted in every draft in the first round.
Some people may be scared of it, man. And it's just, it's going to be an interesting situation. And like it's been part of the discourse on Twitter for a while at this point. There's still a very large enough segment of the fantasy playing population that hi Gary, that feels just like, oh, what are you guys doing? You're overthinking it. Of course he's going to blow. So it's like I worry that is going to keep Christian McCaffrey in the first round, but it's depending on the league that you're in. I mean, like, dude, there you go. There's the solution. There it is, right there, folks. Just
I don't hate
Trey Keenan Allen to the Panthers. And get Christian McCaffrey back.
Why not? What if, dude, that could save his career? We could be talking about a guy who all of a sudden turns into 1,000-yard wide receiver without getting beat up trying to run the ball.
Yeah, you don't see too many older running backs unless they're size of Derrick Henry.
Yeah, but
you got to be a mountain to take those hits.
Not a slot receiver. I mean, Eric Decker, Wes Welker, Julian Edelman. Hunter Renfro's not a big dude. CMC's at least a little more stout than those guys. I mean, 5'11".
Maybe he should consider that. You should write him a tweet.
I will. From your fellow CMC. Colorado native
at CMC.
Or
you
whatever
should go play slot receiver.
You went to a Catholic high school. I went to a Catholic middle school.
There you go.
Come on, buddy.
Connection. We're on the same level. That's great.
Dude. I mean, like I said, like he did a little bit of that at Stanford. It's not like he has no experience playing receiver. I mean, like he knows his dad was a wide receiver. Thank you, Brad. See, there you go. Yeah, like that. So I mean, like it. To quote the great Tom Jones, it's not unusual. It is not unusual. These are things that I don't know. I like throwing that idea at the wall. I hope it sticks. I think it would be fascinating. Although I will say I do want to run something by you guys.
Sure.
Because like.
That's why we're here, man, just to talk. I don't care about anything else.
And Chef, it was something that you mentioned that like really started to get those gears turning. And I'm far from the first person to have this reaction to this news, but your whole thing is just like, well, at this point, you kind of have to recalibrate whatever your expectations were and do all this because of news that happens.
Mm-hmm.
To the both of you, my stance is that the Dolphins running back that you are really going to want for your fantasy team is not yet on the roster.
Agreed. 100% agree.
I really think, because like, look, it was a good deal for Chase Edmonds. Okay. Like, I'm really glad he got the bag. He has like the physical capability. Like he can perform in that type of offense with Mike McDaniel, presumably doing the same, like zone run thing, whatever. They're still going to need that kind of thunder to his lightning. You know what I mean? In a way. And there's a lot of guys in this year's draft. They don't even have to do it. Like, it could be a 4th round pick or something. You know what I mean? Like somewhere in the middle of day 2 or something. Like, I'm just saying, man, because like what's going to happen probably is like people are going to look at it and be like, oh, well, they gave him the money, the blah, 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 blah. But like McDaniel's cut from the Shanahan cloth. You know what I mean? It hasn't been just one guy, Like if he runs an offense that even remotely resembles what, his former boss did, they're going to have to mix it up a little bit. And yeah, I understand Myles Gaskin is still there or whatever, but I mean, like,
I think Gaskin will be the pass catching back.
I think Edmonds is just a better version of Myles Gaskin, and that's what makes it complicated. So like, I still really feel like there's a good chance that they find a way to just draft somebody to really work in tandem with them. You know what I mean? Like, thank you, Dave. See, sign me, I'll do it. But yeah, I mean, like, people are going to think of Chase Edmonds a little higher because of all that, because of the money and the whole blah, blah, blah. But like, we talk about this stuff all the time, like doing stuff, fantasy analysis. Like we even did it just before with that exercise. You know what I mean? Like the value of the pick that you're getting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Would you rather take Chase Edmonds in like the 6th round or something? Because I feel like that's probably where he's somewhere in like the back end of like the RB2s. That's probably where he's going to slot out.
Mhm.
Would you rather do that or just wait till the double-digit rounds? You know, you're filling out your bench, like maybe looking for like a couple flex guys or something, and just like whoever the hell that rookie is. I'll do that.
I'll take a shot. I'll take a shot later on a rookie than I would, well, depending on the rookie, obviously,
True.
and landing spot, and all that works in hand. But yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a crowded backfield. I think they still have Philip Lindsay there as well. Don't quote me on that, but I know he was on there.
I'm looking it up.
He was, but I don't
know if he got re-signed or not. He could be a free agent. I know Myles Gaskin has 1 year left, so they may be waiting for the 2023 season. They may go out and pick somebody else up off of free agency. But either way, like I'm not looking for any of the running backs out of Miami. No offense. Shout out Troy. I know you're happy that you got Chase Edmonds. Hashtag not really. But you know, that's what it is. I mean, the guy that you really want is Jalen Waddle. I think they're going to get Jalen Waddle so involved that people are going to be like, oh, wow. And they're going to use that extra running back at Chase Edmonds to keep the ball moving and keep defenses guessing. I think that's the best definition of what I think of the Miami running backs.
Sounds very Buffalo Bills-esque. You know what I mean?
I'm
like,
a Giants fan, bro. I got no blood in the game.
But, you know, like yeah, but you know, but like what you're describing is kind of, you know, like there are teams that are frustrating like that, where it's just like, yes, there are running backs that do stuff in the green zone or whatever, but like their whole thing is really just to move the ball down till they get close, and then they use the real weapons, quote unquote. You know, like I don't know. I mean, do you have a similar?
I think Chase Edmonds is a better pass blocker, and he's going to be on the field a little bit more. I think that's where Myles Gaskin really flawed when we saw him on the field. He only had, 2 games last season where he had those touchdowns and scored over 20 fantasy points. He's not an all-purpose back. Not a lot of backs these days are, and I think Chase Edmonds will come in and spell that. And we're going to see a lot of in and out, like a lot of not 50-50, but we may be looking at like 65-40 or 65-35, 70-30, 60-40, around that area where they flip-flop, and we won't be able to tell for fantasy, and it's not worth putting any money in the pot. Sorry.
Where you at, Nate?
Yeah, I'm not touching any of them. I want nothing to do with it. So I tweeted yesterday, like, I'm actually lower on Chase. It's fine, whatever. He's been rolling his eyes at me for about a year and a half now. I'm lower on Chase Edmonds in Miami than I was on him in Arizona with James Conner. There, I said it. I think he does nothing because, I mean, we were all waiting for Myles Gaskin to just blow up last year, and never happened. We all think that Chase Edmonds going to Miami means something. It doesn't. Miami is a wasteland. Jalen Waddle is what you want in that offense. Maybe Tua and Superflex.
And Mike Gesicki, shout out. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, probably and
okay
Gesicki. And then but outside of that, I don't want anything to do with this offense in fantasy.
Cedric Wilson, the other big signing. No.
Wow, that fell in my lap in so many dynasty leagues. I didn't know what happened. I had Gallup and I had Cedric Wilson. And I'm like, what do I do? Do I just try to sell Wilson? And I couldn't. And then now all of a sudden, maybe I can. So
I mean, he's probably the wide receiver 2 behind Waddle.
I think Parker's still there for one more year.
Yeah.
I think Cedric Wilson, they're going to use him
Parker
probably in a field stretching scenario as the wide receiver 3. Let me see here.
Also, for what it's worth, Philip Lindsay not on the Dolphins. So just throwing that out there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I feel bad for him, man. I really do.
Yeah, Parker, he's got...
Me too.
I got it in front of me now. They do have an out. Not really. No, he's there for 2 more years, Parker.
Yeah,
they owe him. They owe him money. Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. His salary isn't that bad, actually.
But even then, there's still the assumption that he stays. He still has to stay healthy. You know what I mean? It's like Cedric Wilson. I mean, he could. We're talking deeper leagues at this point, though. I mean, I'm not telling anybody in like a 10 team redraft league, like, hey, keep this guy on your radar. Like, no, that's
no. I'm doing right now. I'm into dynasty best ball startups. We got underdog, best ball,
Yeah,
rookies,
like,
sophomores, all that. But I'm
that's
in a league
that's
right
the
now.
area
We
where
just
you-
drafted 39 rounds, and then we have 7 more player spots that we actually have waivers running tomorrow morning.
Oh, dude, this time of year.
And
rules.
here's the catch: it's a 6-person league.
Oh,
6-person dynasty best ball. Like, we've already had some trades during the draft. I traded for Tom Brady because you could play 3 quarterbacks. There's 2 super flex spots.
dude.
Yeah,
dude.
so 3
Oh.
quarterback, and I scooped up as many wide receivers. I have Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Elijah Moore. And I believe I have Jalen Waddle as well. Those 4 guys.
nice.
Everybody went quarterback and running back. I said, yeah, okay, that's fine. And I still wound up with Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, and somebody else.
The 2 startups I'm doing right now, which Herms, you're in the Campus to Canton one, but are you in the Thieves League?
I'm in both of the same drafts with you. Yeah.
Okay. Dude, I did the same. Like, I just punted on quarterback and I ended up with like Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, a couple like that, Ryan Tannehill. But I got him in like the 8th, 9th, 10th round. So I'm like, okay. Davis Mills is one that I have been trying to get.
They're all risky quarterbacks right now, the ones you named. It's kind of crazy.
I'm okay with it, though. I'm okay. I'll go rookie draft, see if I can sack myself a quarterback.
I mean, and our rookies were in it already, which made it even harder. So I got Malik Willis. I got Desmond Ritter. Like, how did this happen? I don't get it. I think
it's the same way in our Campus to Canton. Like, we're doing the Canton side, I guess is what they would call it. And you know, we like you said, like, we had the rookies integrated there, and the way I ended up with quarterback, I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like, the draft will tell me if I did a good job or not, like the actual draft. But I took Dak kind of early-ish, just because, like, I like having at least one pretty good quarterback. But then,
yeah, for sure.
After that, like several rounds later, I doubled up on people whose first name is Carson. So just Wentz and Strong, just like seeing, just like seeing how that works. I was because like, but like I do not like to do the whole like 2 quarterbacks with your first 2 picks things in super flex drafts. That's not how I like to do it. I understand the argument for it. There are a lot of people that do that, but like my whole thing is just like, while other people kind of overcompensate for all that and go super QB heavy, let me pluck the value in those couple rounds in 2 and 3, see what happens. Something will fall later. I don't know.
It's an interesting strategy, and I've done that before. I played it both ways. My rule of thumb is by the 5th round, I want 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, I try to stick to that, but I got a little too cute with it. I'm not gonna lie. I got a little, like there was some other value that was falling, and I was like, screw it, whatever. But and that's how you end up with the 2 cars.
AJ Brown in the 4th round. What? Give me that.
Yeah, just like I ended up with some pretty good wide receivers. They're doing that, and I'm pretty happy. But although I will say, I would, if we're allowed to just do one redo pick, I'm really upset about the fact that where I drafted Amari Cooper before the trade. God damn it. Like, I'm so
dude,
bad.
he's gonna be fine.
I think he's gonna be okay.
Feel like I think
so too, but it was not good value for where I drafted him. Like,
Landry's
probably not.
Gone. Well, no, but Landry's gone. I mean, it's gonna be him, Peoples-Jones, Njoku, and Bryant. I mean, those are gonna be your main. And Kareem Hunt.
Don't forget Austin Hooper. He's still around.
I don't know about Austin Hooper, but who's the new guy? God, now I can't.
Anthony Schwartz.
Anthony Schwartz might be out there. We might see Demetric Felton out there. Dearness Johnson, the free agent, and we just talked about him on our show on Sunday. Like, go out and buy Dearness Johnson or pick him up off of waivers if he's available in dynasty leagues. Because if he gets picked up somewhere, the guy is definitely a potential fantasy producer that no one's really paying 100%. Attention to. He's a free agent right now. So 100%. just a little dynasty niblet there. But I think they're okay. I think they're going to be okay. Their main focus is to run the ball. And I think Amari Cooper keeps defenses honest, that they can't just, we just got to press the line up against Baker Mayfield and make them falter that way. I think they're going to be okay in Cleveland.
Okay, guys. So something I really, really wanted to talk about